Welcome to the Kangaroo Point Cycling Club's 2012 Fellow Battle on the Border Wrap. I'm Club Captain Cameron Hemming. It's been a beautiful racing weekend at Salt Village with perfect weather, good courses and a huge field of very competitive cyclists. Kangaroo Point Cycling Club had 7 riders competing this weekend and had some very impressive performances. Kieran Hines took leader's jersey in Elite C after a blistering time trial and stayed at the pointy end of the GC for the rest of the weekend. Not bad considering this is his first ever road race. Matt Payne also had a strong opening performance in the time trial with 3rd place and then spent the rest of the weekend working to protect his teammate who held the leader's jersey until the criterium. We also had a good contingent of riders join us for the Piccolo Fondo on Sunday, and most of those guys hung around for the rest of the weekend to support our riders. It's good to see the development of a strong racing culture at the club, and I'd encourage everyone to get on board and support those competitive cyclists, or come along and have a ride yourself. Now let's have a listen to what some of our competitors had to say.
Yeah, big weekend. First race was individual time trial. Came 3rd in the time trial, so it's going pretty well. Had about 30-second lead on most of the field. Second race was the road race in the afternoon. Going pretty well. About the first half race, first quarter actually, I punched wheels with someone and moved my wheel in the frame, so I had a great rubbing on the wheel for the next 60 k's. Didn't really realise it, just thought I had bad legs, but anyway I got popped second time over the climb. So yeah, 3rd race, it's all just about helping the team, so trying to ride on the front, trying to keep everything together. Guys went pretty well. And then the script today was all just about trying to make it as hard as possible, so a couple of big turns on the front, and guys got 2nd and 3rd overall, so really happy with it.
Obviously started off with a time trial. It was a 7k time trial. It was a reasonably flat course and got a pretty good time out of that. Managed to take it out by about a second and a half. Led into stage 2, which was the 48km road race. Came in 7th on that and then dropped down. That made me drop down to about 4.5 seconds off the pace. So I carried into the 3rd road race in 2nd position. So I managed to stay with the group for the best part of the course. Got dropped on the 2nd King of the Mountain climb, and then I just couldn't get back onto the bunch. The 4th stage was the road race. Sorry, was the criterium, 30 minutes plus 3 laps. This is actually the first trip I'd ever ridden.
The time trial was 7.5 k's on a pretty flat circuit, a little bump at the start. Nice course. Put as much effort as I could into it. It's always it's going to be a tough event. You know, it's slog your guts out for 10 minutes. And the road race got over about 48 k's, 1 lap of the circuit at Willumba. Again, a pretty tough race, two major climbs in that, climbing, standing about 100 metres each time. Made it over the first climb in pretty good position. Second climb, started at the front of the field at the start of the climb, and then found myself at the back by the time we got to the crest. Then we came to yesterday, Sunday, and had a great race. That was over 85 k's. 2 laps of the circuit, same hill twice, pretty rough roads. Lots of patchwork and lots of sort of narrow country roads, but great scenery. Pretty happy with that race. And then today, real tight, twisty, narrow circuit.
It's been a good couple of days of racing. Time trial was alright. I went out pretty hard, pretty happy with the pace. A little bit of a headwind coming back in, but I kept a good pace, so I was pretty happy with that. I think I came out of the time trial in about 24th. Second stage was the road race. I was literally quite terrified going into that. We had the leader's jersey in the club, so that was a lot of stress for Nick and myself to make sure that we looked after Kieran a little bit. Stage 3 was a much longer road race. It was really hard. We went over big hill twice. Stage 4 today, criterium, really hard, very fast. Managed 20 minutes, which I was pretty happy about.
The time trial, the road was very rough, very technical, a lot of corners, a lot of good time trialists were very tentative on the corners and lost a lot of time. First road race, well, personally, I got a bit exuberant at the start and felt a bit too good, and lost the bunch on the big hill. Got off chased the break and feeling great, and then detonated on the first big hill. If you weren't with the bunch, it was agony.
Yeah.
Second road race. I enjoyed a lot better than the first one.
And the crit today, that was pretty fast paced. What was your impressions of the criterion?
Well, it was just off from the gun. If you weren't in the first 10 off the line, you probably were never in the race.
Well, time trial, I thought it was a good circuit. Quite flat, quite fast. Stage 2, the road race. Great course, good roads to ride on. Funniest thing was that the dirt section was probably the smoothest section that we rode, but stage 3, some horrible hills at the start. Nice climb up over phobias and a great run back in. Well, I had a goal of trying to stay in for 20 minutes. I stayed in for 19 and a half, so I think there were a few people behind me.
Well, that's it for another year of Kangaroo Point Cycling Club racing at Bello Battle on the Border. A big thanks from our club to QSM Sports for their event management, the commissaires, officials and volunteers, club supporters and all of our fellow cyclists out there for making this weekend such a good time. Don't forget, it's only 90 days until the upperlim.com 30th Cunningham Classic. Check out the website for race updates and follow us on Twitter and YouTube. See you at the start line in August.
She said